How's that first week on scholarship feel?
Feels great. Feels like weight's been lifted off my shoulders. A lot less to worry about.
Going forward, I mean, looking at Fresno State, what have you seen on film? What's going to be some of the challenges for the defensive line?
The tough part is we haven't really seen a lot. They've had a lot of staff changes on the offense, so we haven't had a lot of film we could really watch. We know they're going to be an up-tempo team, but it's tough just being the first game of the year. New staff really haven't had a lot to go off of.
So then when that's the case, I mean, what's Perella preaching to you guys?
Well, pretty well everyone you play is going to be the same. Their scheme might be a little different. Their play selection might be a little different. But it's, they can reach you, they can cut you off, they can double team you, or they can pass set. There's not a whole lot, there's nothing anybody's going to do that's different than what you're going to see every week. Just little different tendencies, different things. Players have different quirks. But, you're pretty much getting the same thing every week. So we're just trying to cover our fundamentals.
How does it feel different this year going into your senior season? What's that like?
It's nuts. I really, I just can't believe it's here. Every freshman hears it their first year saying, you won't believe how fast it goes, and I can't attest to that enough. It's just kind of takes me back sometimes. I can't really believe it's here already.
Where do you think the defensive line is at right now going into this game week versus maybe where they were at the start of fall camp?
I think we've progressed quite a bit. I think we had a really good camp, and we've gotten a lot better. But, that being said, we always have a lot of room for improvement. We still got a long ways to go to get to where we want to be. So, our goal is just to get better every day. If we can keep doing that, eventually we're going to end up where we want to be.
What's it like being part of a position unit where, and I don't know how much you listen to it or hear of it or see it, but people are continually asking, how's the defensive line going to be? How are they going to be? How are they going to do? Does that ever get old hearing that?
I know that people are constantly wanting to know about the D-line. Like our coaches tell us to, and me personally, I don't really look into the news or the social media at all because, it's just a lot of noise that distracts you, so I try to stay away from that for the most part.
Has it always been how you've done it, or recently?
That's kind of always how I've been. I'm kind of a shut-in, I guess you'd say. I don't really even have any social media. I just kind of tune out the outside world a lot of times.
When Valentine and Collins went to the NFL, did that look like an opportunity for you? Did you look at it that way, saying, "Oh, maybe I got a chance here"?
Yeah, that's sort of a bittersweet deal. As a team, you hate to lose two guys like that. You can see by how they went in the draft that they're great players. But personally, that does provide a great opportunity. So, bittersweet, as I said, but I was excited personally. So I knew this was going to give me a chance to hopefully rise up.
How has this fall gone for you so far?
It's been a good fall. I thought I had a decent spring, but I had a lot of things I needed to correct, bad habits, bad tendencies. So fall really helped us to iron out those issues, as well as improve on our tempo. So I think I had a fairly good fall, and I think the D-line as a whole had a good fall.